Hey everyone, Denise here. I've talked to a few people who seem to think that some of you are unfamiliar with cutting guides, and you may be. But just in case, I just wanted to throw up this quick video for you. I apologize for the shadows and things. I have not yet figured out my new contraption for videos, and this is just a quick thing. So when you get a cutting guide, whether it's for a bulk card workshop or it's for a layout class, I always use a cutting guide because I'm one of those people who I'm not creative. I can't just do it on the fly. And I want to make sure that I maximize my purchase, right? We want to make sure that we're not wasting anything that we could otherwise use. So we use a cutting guide. So when I develop a cutting guide, I do that first from sketches that I see, and then I cut everything. So here's how this works. I hope that this isn't upside down. You know, I never know. Okay, so I hope that this isn't too blurry for you. This is just one example, and it's a fake example. Excuse me, it's a fake example just to show you. So I would have to say on here 4 different things. The paper is always listed at the top. So for example, if we were doing a kit with brown cardstock, this would be the brown cardstock, this would be the orange, and you're cutting according to the cutting guide. You can do this in advance of class. Sometimes we're going to do it together. If you have a question, always ask first, because again, just like the guys, it's always measure twice, cut once, right? You don't want to ruin that one sheet of paper and then you don't have any more, and now you have to wing it. I am no good at winging it. Hopefully you are, but I'm not. So I always check first, because sometimes you do have to cut something else first or cut something here. It's usually indicated. Normally though, it's pretty straightforward. So you see how this is here? Now again, it may be backwards for you because of the lens. I apologize. But what you're doing is you're just cutting out those measurements. And then there's a number, it's like number 1, number 3, number 2. That's the page or card number that it goes to. So you want to take a pencil and you want to lightly put those numbers on the back. That way, it's sort of like putting together a jigsaw puzzle later. So I'm going to turn this around for me. Well, let's do it for you this way first. I have a 2x12 piece, then I have a 5 by, that says 12, but yep, no, it shouldn't be 5x12. It's 3x5, sorry, my fault, I would fix that. I just did it quick for you. So it's 5 by, that's 2, 7 by 2, 3 by 6. These would be actually correct when you did it. Sorry, that last one is. So this would be what it is. Now you don't have to put the measurements on the back, but you do have to put the number. That way you know where it goes. So now that we have this, I would take my trimmer, take my cutting guide, which I have off to the side, and it says my first piece is 2 by 12. So I'm going to go to 10 on my trimmer. And I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to lightly put a number 1. And then it says 5 by 2, 7 by 2. So I know that I'm still cutting 2. So I'm going to cut. I'm on the second row. So it's 5 by 2 and 7 by 2. And I see from the grid that I have nothing left. Over here, you see this scratched out part? That's extra. So that's something for you to mat maybe a sentiment with, or maybe die cut a sentiment, make a circle, whatever you may need. Mine doesn't work that great when I do it this way. Okay, so 2 inches, and now I'm cutting at 5 or 7. 7 just is right here and easier. So these are my 2 pieces, my 5 and my 7. So on the back of my 5, I'm writing number 1. On the back of my 7, I'm writing number 2. Now here's this next part, and this is where, you know, it's a little common sense and just a little thinking ahead of time. You've already cut these 2. Now you've got to cut these. But if you continue cutting the paper this way, the way we've done it, it's not going to work. Turn the sketch. See, it has to go that way. So I know from this, I'm at 6 by 12, and I know that that's extra. So I'm going to turn my paper and I'm cutting at 6. Oh, that's a 6 by 6. So 6 by, I know I'm stuck in this 12 thing for some reason today. So 6 by 6. This is that extra piece. This is my 6 by 6. And I'm writing number 3 on the back, and I'm putting it to the side. Then I had, so this is my extra, nothing gets written on it. So then I had a 3 by 6. So I'm measuring this, and this is 8. You see my wonderful math skills here. So I'm going to 5. Because this gives me 3 inches, I'm putting a number 1. And then this, I'm going to measure just to be sure. This is 6 by 5. That's my last piece. That's all there is to a cutting guide. And you would do this with every sheet of paper on the list here. Now, sometimes you have extra paper that we're not using that you can use for whatever, bonus cards or another layout or simply, fussy cut as embellishments. Other times we are using it all. So this is the way a cutting guide works, whether we're using it for a card class or a layout class. And normally, again, it would be like a bulk class. So it would be multiple cards, or it would be 3 to 5 layouts. Now, this is a messy one. This is a rough draft, and then I go through and I fix it and I make a clean version. But this is what, excuse me, it looks like for here. So you see I have some scratched out, right? So you're not using that, or the paper wasn't that big. But you see how I have the measurements and the number sign for the page that it's on. And that writing, in case it's backwards, says extra for circles, because I used a lot of circles on these cards. And so it was just whatever size you wanted, whatever size felt good to you. Run it through your Cricut, run it through your Big Shot if you've got circle dies, which is what I did. But again, notice up top, it says plaid, just in case you can't see that, right? And it says plaid number 1 because there was a second plaid sheet. So plaid number 2 is here. So you make all your second cuts out of that other sheet. Then there's this, I think this was navy, right? So again, the cuts are there, right? What you do, the page numbers, the second sheet of navy. Same thing. It's super easy, guys. So if you have any questions, please be sure that you go into the Scrapbooking Stuff group and you tag me and you ask about it, because again, so easy. And if you're doing a bulk workshop, you'll probably want to cut a lot of stuff in advance just to make the cards or the layouts, but you don't have to. You can cut it while we're there. You can put the layouts together anytime you want. The beauty of a cutting guide is that it takes really all of the thought out of it. If you're a creative person, that's terrible. But if you're not like me, it's wonderful because it lets you get stuff done. And it also maximizes your supplies. Alrighty, I hope this was helpful again. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, Scrapbooking Stuff group over at Facebook, tag me and I will answer whatever questions you have. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope it was helpful.